Have you ever been to a concert before? And if so, do you remember what it felt like leading up to getting there and then getting there and what you experienced feelings wise? Were you happy, excited, nervous, or anxious? Or is this your first time going to a concert and you're not quite sure what to expect? Or maybe you're on the fence about going to one? Well, in this video, I'm going to share some tips that might be helpful in order to prepare you for a concert, or if you've been to one before, maybe this is something that you didn't consider previously. And for reference, I've been to a few different types of concerts, from a cappella to orchestral to rock and progressive metal, and I've been to venues both indoor and I've been to one that was outdoor. So if I were to recommend you bring anything, even if it's indoor or outdoor, it would be these things. These things are earplugs, and they come in various shapes and sizes, and these ones in particular were pretty inexpensive. It came in a pack, and these are foam ones. So you're going to want to look up ahead of time how to properly put them in your ear, because I will admit the first time I used these, I put them in my ear like this, and I was like, oh, that's not really effective, and they kept falling out and they weren't doing anything. Well, it turns out that's actually the incorrect way to do it. So I recommend looking it up ahead of time. But what I looked up at the time was that you're supposed to squeeze it and roll it in between your fingers, and then use your other hand to pull up your ear, and then stick it in your ear and hold it in your ear and let go of it, and it will expand, and then the sound will start to sound a little muffled, but you get used to it. It's a weird feeling at first, but I recommend getting a pair of these, whether the concert is inside or out, and because it's better to have them and not need them than to not have them and want them. So I recommend getting a pair and then playing with them ahead of time and figuring them out before the concert, so that way you're not fiddling with it once you get there. The next thing to figure out is how you're going to actually get to the concert. Are you going to drive? Are you going to walk? Are you going to take city transportation? Are you going to Uber? Do something else like that? What I recommend doing, especially if you're driving, is mapping out ahead of time how long it's going to take you to get to that place from where you're at or where you'll be going from, and then around the time that you'll be leaving in general. So to me, it doesn't really make a lot of sense if the concert starts at 6 for you to look up the night before at 10 o'clock how long it's going to take you to get there, because the traffic might not be the same around that time of day. There might be more traffic or less traffic depending on what time you leave. So that's why you look it up a few days in advance to roughly get an idea of how long it's going to take you to get there. Now, there are other factors that could play a part in delaying or speeding up your trek to get there, but that is something that helps me prepare as an overall. But obviously be flexible. There might be an accident or construction, and just be flexible. This next thing is with regards to if you're driving, and that's figuring out where you're going to park your vehicle once you get to the venue. So some venues have on-site parking, some you have to park elsewhere, whether that's in a parking structure, or I've been to some where they had valet parking. What I recommend doing is looking up the venue ahead of time and seeing where they recommend you park. The next thing I recommend is having a game plan for what you're going to eat or drink, especially if you get there early. So for example, I went to a concert and I got VIP tickets to that concert, so that meant I got to do a meet and greet with the band ahead of time, but I had to get there early, and then I was just sitting around with an hour and a half before the doors open, and I didn't know what to do, so I ended up just going to where I parked and just sitting in my car for the time being. But I recommend looking up ahead of time, what do you plan to do if you're going to have some spare time between like getting there early and when the concert actually starts. Maybe you want to look around and get something to eat or drink, or maybe use a bathroom, something like that. And with the venue, you might want to look up ahead of time what the seating or standing situation is going to be like. Are you going to be primarily seated? Are you going to be primarily standing? Or is it going to be a hybrid of the two? When I went to the outdoor concert, it was just in the grass, so you can sit or stand. It was up to you. But I've been to concerts where it was seating the entire time, and I've been to concerts where it was standing the entire time. If you're not used to standing or sitting for long periods of time, just be prepared for that. And I know it might be a little bit easier with venues where you're seated all the time, because you can just probably get up, go to the bathroom, stretch your legs, things like that. But it might be a little bit harder with venues where it's standing only. So just be prepared for that. And what about merch? What is your game plan if you want to buy something that your artist or band has available to purchase? Do you want to just carry it around the entire time? Is it something that you can wear, like a hat or a shirt you can just throw on or tie around your waist? Or maybe it's like a wristband or something else like that? Or do you have easy access to your vehicle and you can just buy things ahead of time and then have enough time to put it out in your vehicle? Or did you not bring a vehicle and then you have to hold on to it for the entire duration of the concert? Or maybe you just plan on getting merch as you plan on leaving. So just think about that in advance as well. So the last two things that I want to talk about are, I guess, getting really into it, but It's just a peace of mind thing. The first thing is just locating where the bathrooms are ahead of time, so that way if you do have to use the bathroom once the concert starts, you're not trying to figure out where it is. And then the other thing is the start time versus the doors opening, because I've been to concerts where I was like, the concert is starting at this time, but I've also been to concerts where it was like, okay, the doors open at this time, but I thought it was the start time, so I was waiting around for an hour and I was like, what is going on? So just be prepared for that as well. So these have been some tips if you plan on going to a concert. I know it might be a little nitpicky and this may seem like a lot, but really it's just planning and being prepared if you are the type of person that wants to plan ahead and be as prepared as possible for going to things. Thank you so much for watching this video, and until next time, stay cool like a cloud and have a great day.